All right, I got 1 minute after. Let's go ahead and we're going to get started, everybody. All right, so we are talking about RealScout today. So let me just launch straight into slide deck. Has everybody got their login? Is everybody familiar, at least know what we're at least kind of talking about when we talk about RealScout? This is the interactive part of our
Yeah,
session today.
absolutely.
Good, good. Okay, so Real Scout is your answer to FMLS One Home. To be perfectly honest with you, is everybody looking at my opening slide here? Product overview on Real Scout. Just
Yes,
making
we see
sure.
it.
Awesome.
We see
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and today this is every slide deck has. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to talk to you about today. What is RealScout, how it fits into your business. We're going to specifically focus in on the experience to your clients and then your experience using your agent dashboard and then some additional resources, how to get some additional help and support based off of whatever you need within the program. So today, let's talk about ways to rebuild the way you do collaborate with your clients. So Real Scout was designed to be a safe haven for collaboration between you and your client. Um, can we all agree that when Zillow and Realtor.com and other sites like that are involved, that is not a safe haven for collaboration because they want to collaborate with your client, not you. They're not facilitating your collaboration, they're facilitating their collaboration. Real Scout has a different focus. Okay, so let's dive deeper into that. So we're going to talk about insights into your business and understanding your buyers and how you can help them to find the perfect home faster. And then we're going to get some bigger insights into all buyers. And my slide deck is actually outdated. There's actually some new stuff that will actually help with listings also within the Real Scout tool. So we'll talk a little bit more about those. All of these are designed to help you close more transactions. So first, we're going to talk about the safe haven for collaboration. So one of the things that is different about Real Scout is, hey everybody, I'm gonna mute somebody just to keep the audio clean. Is where Real Scout was designed to be effective. All right, so they have done some studies, and what they determined is the average buyer is going to explore anonymously for 3 to 5 weeks without hitting somebody's website, without going into a portal type scenario. They're going to explore a little bit. All right, and that's where Zillow, Realtor.com, and Truly are kind of have their stronghold in this business. Okay, we don't want them. We want to keep your people out of there. So what we have found though is the second phase of this is when they're finding a home with an agent, a buyer is typically doing this during a period of about 11 weeks after that initial anonymous period. This is where Real Scout really pays the dividends. Okay, and we're going to talk about more about that in detail and then close and moving on. And this is where basically we take over for you at the brokerage level with the contract to close. So instead of when you get a new lead or a new client, instead of sending them listing alerts through the MLS, I am going to very strongly encourage you to use Real Scout instead, because this is the client experience that they are going to get. Okay. We all know FMLS in One Home. It is built to be a realtor tool, not a consumer tool. Real Scout takes the realtor tool and puts it in an appearance and packages it in a way that makes it look attractive to the consumer. So it all starts with the listing alert. Instead of getting that FMLS One Home piece that is, here's the 3 homes that are new on the market today, and here's your links to them. Very clunky, very basic. That makes sense? So what the listing alert from RealScout comes out as, it's personalized, it's automated, it uses up here, it uses common language that you might use if you were writing it. In fact, I've had clients actually suspect that I was actually writing this and curating this email to send them. I was not. And you'll find that experience too. The listing alerts for RealScout are very photocentric. They're high resolution images. The data is absolutely accurate because of the IDX feed. It includes call to actions back to the agent to if they want more information, view details, view all matches, and everything, of course, is branded exactly to you. It's not going to be branded. It's not going to direct somebody to a Zillow agent or to a listing agent. It's going to brand it to you. All right. And because of this listing alert and all of these tools, they tend to get a 10 times better response rate than the FMLS one home notices. Okay. Any questions on that? When that's the initial announcement, if they were to click on the view details, it's going to take them into the full screen browser platform. And again, this is all branded to you, and it shows them much higher details of the properties, much bigger photographs. It includes computer vision technology that categorizes the photos. So if you notice, when you look at the photos up here, it'll tell you, so this thing actually uses artificial intelligence to figure out which rooms are the dining rooms, and it labels them. So if you've got a client that is specifically looking for, the kitchen is the most important room in the house, they can literally come into here and click on that room and see the exact photos. Pretty cool, right? Likewise, there you are looking at the 7 kitchen photos, and you can cycle through them. And this technology, allowing these rooms to be segregated out in the photos, is actually going to come into play here in a minute in another tool that'll help you compare one house to the next by rooms, which is actually really cool. All right. Here's where the collaborative part of the listing announcements goes, is when the client pulls up the information on the property, it gives them all of these tools, like encourages them to make a decision. I'm interested in this one, or I'm not interested in this one. Or they can send messages, they can send showing requests. This is all great information for them to be able to reach out to you. I'd like to see this home. I've reached out to people when I see that they're looking at homes, and I see that they've hit one on my dashboard, and I can email it to them and say, hey, what do you think of this one? Not knowing, they don't know that I can actually see that they're hitting. This is a great tool which allows your client to capture features about the home that they like and dislike. And what this does is, when they say they like the aesthetics of this or the kitchen of this and they don't like the schools, this helps RealScout to further refine the criteria of homes that it's going to show them on the next round. Does that make sense? So the script with your client is, the more information that you can fill out or give me about the homes that you're seeing that I'm sending you through my RealScout, by marking them as either interested or not interested, or categorizing the things that you like and dislike about them, that's going to refine your search. The more you can tell me about that, the better the search results are going to be moving forward. So have that conversation with your clients. All right. From that same screen, when they open up, they can create their own search by either city, state. They can even get it down to the school. So there are a way to set up filters to save it by the school, and they can see all of the listings within a certain school, within a certain neighborhood, or around an address. And remember when I said the photocentric features allow you to compare homes based off of the individual rooms. So if they are scrolling through homes and they're like got 2 or 3 homes that they actually like, they can hit this compare button. And let's see what that does. When they compare, they can select 3 homes that they want to compare by, and it's going to put them all side by side. And it allows you to compare each one of the rooms using those photocentric the and artificial intelligence of labeling the rooms by keeping them all consistent across. So you can look at the kitchens in all 3 houses all at once. That would take you about 20 mouse clicks if you were trying to do the same thing in FMLS. Am I right about that? Y'all shake your heads north and south if you know what I'm talking about. All right. And of course, our platform is completely mobile friendly. So you can do this. RealScout, there are 2 RealScout apps. There's one that is the RealScout, just the RealScout app that your client can load on their phone and search with. And there's also RealScout Pro, which is your version of it that you can see their activities and see the dashboard. Okay. Let's talk about why consumers prefer RealScout over the others, over the MLS and the other parties, so Zillow and Realtor.com. It's a familiar experience. It's going to be very similar to the national portals like Zillow and Realtor.com, Trulia. It's personalized. It has feature preferences. You can put in things like commutes, your commute distances, and search based off of those commutes. Remember, the interest levels and ratings help to refine the search criteria moving forward. Of course, it's the room by room comparisons, school boundary searching, ease of messaging and showing requests. It's designed for that collaboration. The agent, get your complete visibility into your buyer's behavior. We're going to talk about that in the next slide deck here because we're going to talk about the agent performance. So insights into your buyers. This is how you're going to see what your clients are doing and how you're going to be able to help leverage this to increase your closings. All right, so what you're looking at is your dashboard. At the very top of your dashboard, you have a summary of your client activity, how many active clients, how many clients have been active on their searches this week, how many views they viewed today, and how many emails were opened today. You have some tools immediately at the very top, what you want to do to your clients, whether you want to share your platform to them. Love this live feed, y'all. This thing is worth its weight in gold. When you can see what your clients are out there searching for and how often they're searching and monitor their activity, it is a wealth of information. Also on your dashboard is the messaging center that shows you all recent communications and messages from clients. On the messaging tab is how you can text essentially back and forth through the app. This is a great tool, very, very helpful, makes it much simpler and easy to keep all your communications in one place. All right, so then we have some extras that are down here. Social media integrations, widgets, landing pages, all of this stuff is available. This is the button where you're going to add client activity. If you don't have your client in there already, this is a quick and easy way to add them to it. And then there's some great features where you're engaging clients. These are the things the tools to be able to launch you off on the start of getting a client engaged in your RealScout search. Okay, so a way to do that is to create a new client. And once you create the client and put their information in, like Mr. Harry Homeowner here, the next step is, what do you want to do now that you've put Harry in? Do you want to create a listing alert to send them homes or a market activity alert? So I told you that RealScout has tools for buyers as well as sellers. The listing alert is what you send them if you have a buyer that wants to look at properties, A market activity alert is much like the neighborhood news within Matrix, and that is, here's what's going on in your neighborhood. All right. One of the things I didn't mention yet is that one of the things I love about RealScout, I'm actually going to take my slide deck off here. Let's talk. How many of you have both FMLS as well as Georgia MLS? How many of you hate Georgia MLS with a red hot fiery passion like me? Thank you, everybody. I don't think I've ever known anybody that has not said that unless they have a presence on the South Side, and they mostly do business on Georgia MLS. Here's what's beautiful about RealScout. RealScout allows you to search in both MLSs. You can plug FMLS and Georgia MLS into RealScout, and you can set up a search for both. Okay, you can set them up separately. You can set up one search in FMLS and one search in Georgia MLS and send your clients 2 emails if you want to. But you can also just set them up on one search. And that works great because it covers both bases. If one house is listed in FMLS but not listed in Georgia MLS, then it'll still appear on their search results through RealScout. If that agent, the listing agent, is much like Mike, me, and everybody else in this brokerage, if we list your home on one MLS, we're automatically getting listed on both. If those are the case, then when that home gets sent to somebody in a search criteria through RealScout, they're going to see that home twice. It's going to show up in their RealScout search history with an FMLS MLS number once and a Georgia MLS number a second time. Okay, that works really well. But it just takes a little bit of delivery with your clients to explain to them that, hey, Georgia and Atlanta is one of those rare markets that has 2 MLSs that are serviced in the area. I'm going to set you up on a search that's going to cover both of them so that we're not potentially missing a house. But the downside of that is it might mean that you see the same house twice in your search results every now and then. No big deal, right? It's all managed with the delivery.
Jay, can I ask you a question? So, I'm on the
Absolutely.
South Side, so I do use the GAMLS as well. The only problem I found with RealScout is like when you use both and you're trying to, like if your client is giving you really specific details, like it only lets you do like general searches.
You are absolutely correct. Actually, let me do this. Let me share my screen again. And here's what I will show you what she's talking about, y'all. Maybe. So if you are, is everybody looking at my RealScout right now? Okay, good. So what she's talking about is when you are entering a search, the way to differentiate the search is right here. Change the listing service. So right now, mine is defaulting to Georgia MLS. But what you can do is if both are plugged in, you're either going to be in FMLS or you're going to be in Georgia MLS, or the option to do both is the cross MLS search. And notice it says basic criteria. Any idea why it says basic criteria? It pretty much tells you right here is there is a nationwide effort across the board by the National Association of Real Estate to standardize the fields that we find in all of the MLS. So all of the criteria field where we go in and say square foot minimum and maximum, it's different from one MLS to the other MLS all across the country. So there's a nationwide effort to standardize that. But because Georgia MLS and FMLS don't play well together in the sandbox, they have different criteria. And that's why you can't get real granular in like saying basement in one MLS versus no basement in the other MLS, because those fields may not be standardized across the board. But I'll be honest with you, it'll give you most of the criteria that you need to be able to search for a home. using both.
If you did it separate, you can dig down further. Okay.
Exactly. So the alternative that you could do is you could set up your client on one FMLS search and send them an email with all of the properties from an FMLS search, and then set them up a similar search using Georgia MLS criteria, and they'll get everything that way.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, let me get back into my slide deck, hopefully. Hang on, y'all. All right, everybody. Here we go. Now we're back.
Yes, see it.
All right, here we go. So the other tools when you are creating the search is I already showed you on my screen how to change from one MLS to the other MLS. When you start entering the search criteria, it immediately keeps track of the results at the top. You can use, just like in FMLS, you can use the map tool to be able to draw lines around a particular neighborhood. You can center the map on a particular area. You can do polygons, squares, radiuses, and change those on the fly as you go. When you start entering your criteria, then you can go up and look at the results of them, and you can start refining the search criteria. You can review the matches in the queue, and you can either say, I want to send them all to your buyer client, or you can be very selective in what you send. All right. And so it's showing you there's 7 in the queue. You can select all of them, or you can just hit save it to your client, and that will automatically become, using the settings that are over here, it'll automatically be something that goes out to them every day of the week. You can, if your client is religious beliefs don't allow them to get emails on Sunday, you can change and remove that day on Sunday. I've had that request come across before. Call it crazy. There's lots of cultures out there. Okay, you can keep track of your client's specific activity by using the clients tab, opening them up, and you can see how many active alerts they have, how many homes they've flagged as interested, how many homes they've viewed. There is just a wealth of knowledge of what your client's activities are. When you open up the client, there are a number of tabs up here. You can see the email alerts that they've received. You can see details, what their email address is, phone numbers, information. The client profile also allows you to send it to both a husband and a wife. You can set up the search that both in 2 emails can receive the same thing at the same time. Okay. And your client's activities actually get mapped so that when they view a home and they favorite a home, you actually see it on the map too. Very cool information, right? And then we have some tools that help. So those are all of the tools that help you see what your buyers are doing. You know what? We've got 5 more minutes left in this. I don't want to launch into the next topic here. So I'm going to stop sharing. Go ahead, Miss Keisha. Unmute there. Mm-hmm. But not the Georgia MLS? Okay, everybody, her audio was not on, but she's sitting 5 feet away from me. She was saying that she has Georgia MLS and FMLS both, but the Georgia MLS is not showing when you go in there and try to do the cross-functional search. If you have Georgia MLS, if you've recently obtained the Georgia MLS ID and you need it, it has to be turned on. It has to be, a flip has to be switched on your RealScout account. Shoot me a quick email or a text, and it's literally a 30-second exercise for me to go in and flip the switch for you. Okay? So we're going to go ahead. Any other questions about RealScout?
I just wanted to ask you a question. Do you, when you send your clients searches, do you have it email you what it sent you? Like, you know how it can email. Do you do that? I mean, I do. I just wondered if you do.
So I'm going to say I strongly recommend that you do, that you have it, that you courtesy copy yourself in there. But you asked me a different question. Do I personally? I personally do not have myself copied in there, but that's because I sit at my desk almost every day. And I have my RealScout up on my screen every single day. And I hit refresh almost every single day. I look at my activity feed. If I see my client has searched on a home and said that they're interested in it, one of the things I love the most is that I can see when they look at a home, and it even tells you right next to it how many times they've opened up that home.
Mm-hmm.
I've had clients that I've seen open up the home 20, 30, 40 times. That's an indicator that they really like that house. And they're probably wish that they had put an offer in on it, and they keep checking to see if it's going to come back on the market. Those are the kind of things where I can monitor them, and I can then call them up. And in the course of my relationship building and rapport building, saying, hey, I'm seeing a lot of houses in this particular area that I think might meet your needs, or this house at 123 Main Street seems to have the aesthetic that you have been drawn to all along. And they're going to look at you and go, this guy's clairvoyant. How does he know this? It's because I'm watching their activity. Okay. And that's going to make you a happier, or you make your relationship with them better, strengthen that rapport, and they're going to sing your praises in the end of how intuitive you were and how you anticipated their needs and were just in tune with what their needs were. Okay. So my guess is if you're in a position, if you're in the field a lot and you're too busy and you're not going to be in front of your desktop, set yourself up on a search. If you're going to be diligent and keep that RealScout up on your desktop during the day and monitor it during the day along with your Moxie and other activities, you may not need to, because the dashboard does a lot of that activity for you. Okay. So next week we'll pick up and we'll take over from there, and I'll show you the rest of the tools that are available in RealScout. If I have brushed over, I did a very quick and dirty overview of this. If I've brushed over it and skipped details that you're wanting to know more about, I'm available to you. Let's work together. Okay. Thanks, everybody.